Hey, welcome to our episode of Chad's Beer Reviews with special guest Chelsea and Liz from Body by Beer podcast. How you doing?
Great. How are you doing?
Good. Hello, hello.
Good, good. It's funny, the beer we're reviewing tonight, I've had in the fridge here for like, I don't it feels like 6 months. And I bought this specifically to do a podcast with somebody. And like every guest I've had for the last few months, nobody was able to get this. So,
All right.
Perfect.
yeah. So the beer we're
That's
doing
special.
tonight is fairly new from, Chimay or Chimay, one of the most famous Trappist breweries. It's called 𝓑𝓻𝓮𝓻𝓲𝓷, which means 150. So they brew this for their 150th anniversary.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now, it does say they're calling it a strong blonde ale on the label.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I mean, I guess we'll find out when we taste it because like there's a difference between like Belgian blonde and Belgian golden strong ale. It's like golden
Yeah.
strong is kind of like Duvel, and blonde is like, Leffe. If you ever had that one, that's probably the most famous.
Right.
Anyway, I poured it into my Spiegel tulip stem glass, and it's kind of a pale orange, maybe amber color, slightly hazy. I can see it's not showing on camera, but I can see like particulates floating around in there, and it's really carbonated. So
Definitely
yours
has
looks
good.
a little bit more pale than mine. It's just the
Yeah.
lighting.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
probably just the lighting, but definitely.
It had a really beautiful creamy head on it
Yeah.
a
Yeah,
moment ago.
I probably had like 2 or 3
Oh my
fingers,
gosh.
but it's still hanging around.
Oh yeah.
I've
Let's
Look at
give
the
it a smell
lacing.
here.
got 5 fingers at least.
Hmm. I get like
Yeah.
almost like an apple pie smell.
Oh yeah. I definitely get the fruitiness.
Yeah, lots of fruity, lots of little spice on the end of it.
Mm-hmm. What was ABV on this one? It's pretty strong.
Like 10.
10%.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a good bedtime beer.
It's fair. It might knock me out and
Yeah,
take me to bed.
Yeah.
I would say
Yeah,
the yeast
10%.
character is the most prominent on this, but I also get like there's probably some spicy alcohol. It's very similar to Chimay White, like the triple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think on a blind tasting, I would have jumped more into like a Tripel versus a blonde
Mhm.
Same.
without knowing what it actually was. But I actually think the heat being a 10% is pretty mild on it. Like it's there, but it's not overpowering.
This is really fruity. I'm surprised. So,
I was surprised at how well the carbonation stuck.
yeah. All right, you guys ready to
Supposed be
dig in
super
here?
effervescent. Yeah, let's do it. I'm
All right.
drooling.
Cheers. You have to cheers each
Sorry,
other.
I've been doing it. Oh, sorry, guys.
Cheers.
Mm,
Mm.
very full-bodied.
It's
Orangey.
it's pretty
Very orange.
fruity.
Yeah, really fruity, very orangey.
Mm-hmm.
Nice spice at the end. I mean, you're not wrong about the yeast being a big profile, but sometimes, I mean, I feel like Belgium does this well, but a lot of times you get the Belgian styles here in America, and they're just too yeasty and it just overpowers everything. This is, I feel like,
Mhm.
as expected, perfectly balanced.
Mhm.
I like how carbonated it is.
Yeah, that's
I feel like
pretty
I
normal
was
with Trappist beers.
yeah, but I think the smell was leading me to it wasn't going to be that way, right? It was going to be thicker.
Yeah, fair.
Definitely getting hit with the alcohol. It took a
Yeah, there's
second, but I'm already feeling warm.
yeah, I would say
Yeah.
there is for 10%, it's actually a really gentle warmth too, and I've had mine sitting out for a while too. Like I said on the nose, I said it kind of smells like apple pie. It has like a little bit of an apple pie kind of taste to it. Like I get like almost
Like
like a
a
cinnamon on here.
That's what
I
I
mean, I
was just
definitely
gonna
get like
say.
an appley character.
Mhm.
I get like a
Yeah.
little bit of like caramel or something. Could just be from like the malts. There's definitely like a Pilsner malt base on there.
Mhm. Does it
How are
say
you?
what malt it used? I definitely get the cinnamon on the nose.
Yeah.
And then the malt leads me right to the pie crust, right?
Mhm.
Not quite caramely for me, but
Yeah,
definitely
so I'm
like,
not quite getting the caramel,
but you said Pilsner, so
yeah,
bread.
Yeah.
that makes sense. I'm
Yeah.
also getting a lot of the citrus though.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I get the
Oh.
apple, but I think I think without the influence of having apple be said, I think I would have stuck more with like a citrus.
Makes
Now,
me
are you
want
getting
some
like
cheese.
actual like the fruit flavor or like a zest, like orange peel as opposed to like the actual orange?
I think it's more
I mean, it's like
zesty.
orange
Yeah.
zest.
Yeah. Which is interesting to like throw the apple and then with like an orange zest on top of that. Is a really good description.
It's really spicy. It's got like a peppery finish.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, this does remind me a lot of the Chimay White, the triple.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I had to do them side by side to like really compare them.
Yeah.
I think this is a lot less hoppy than the triple.
Okay.
Yep.
I haven't had the triple. So
Yeah. But I mean, it should have less of a bite being the
Yeah.
blonde. I actually, the drink I just had, and I feel like because I'm drinking more of it, it's feeling lighter to me, giving me more of that blonde vibe. And then I had a nice little stir on it. So I got a lot of head with the drink. And it definitely, I was like, oh, that's a blonde hands down.
Nice.
So I think it kind of, depends on how you drink it. And I haven't had a 10% Belgian beer in a minute. So, but I feel like as I'm getting more used to the big flavors, I'm getting more of that sweetness of the blonde.
It's making me hungry. I think I said that already. I want some cheese with it.
Well, that's fair, yeah.
I just
Well, Liz, you wrote a whole book on beer and food pairing. Like, what would you
Weird.
pair this with?
Yeah, I'm definitely
Besides
thinking
another
like
beer?
yeah, some classic blue cheese just to be super contrasting to the citrus and I guess to use your words, that apple pie. Or some classic, like let's go grill some food, some roasted meats.
Potatoes. Is it like a roasted potato being really good with it?
Oh yeah. Even like
Rosemary.
some portobello mushrooms would be really good with it. But it's making me hungry. I love using jams with meats. I get that from my mom. And then of course, any charcuterie board, please sign me up. And I think this is just like hand in hand. So
Perfect for it.
it's a good picnic beer if you can handle a 10% picnic beer.
Yeah, maybe just like a little like a sampler, like 3 or 4 ounce, like a flight.
Yeah.
Or something,
Fair.
Instead of a goblet of fire.
You not a whole chalice of it. What are you talking about?
Yeah, as long as you don't have to drive.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to bed after this. What are you talking about? I mean, you brought up, and this was kind of interesting to me, that you could only find the small bottles.
Yeah.
So
I have a
that's kind of
330 ml.
interesting.
How would you describe the body and mouthfeel and drinkability on this one? You kind of touched on it earlier, but
yeah, I think right away, just on appearance, you see that creamy head. So that always leads me to believe it's going to be pretty full body based on that. And then upon drinking it, I would say it's more full to medium rather than more medium to full, if that makes sense.
That's fair. I thought the alcohol came through really light, considering it's a 10%er. I mean, you said eventually it warms you up, but like the drink itself isn't finishing hot on my palate. I think it's finishing really clean, really bright. I think the floral is honestly probably what's helping dilute that down with the yeast flavors, right? It's making it not come off too aggressively heavy, and overall just really well balanced to keep it from being too hot or too floral.
Yeah, I would agree. It's like it has like actually a pretty, and that's the thing about Belgian beers is that they kind of mess with your head because tend to be big bodied but also highly effervescent, because usually it's they're like Imperial Stout is low carbonation, and like a light Bud Light type of beer is high carbonation, but this was both high carbonation and high body. Yeah, and I agree with Chelsea. Like it's the alcohol. I would probably say it's like gentle. Like this is not heating up my throat like like a way a pepper would or something like that. Although for like the beer nerd in me is like, what style is this? And then like I don't know, it's kind of like this weird hybrid of like triple golden strong ale and blonde. I mean, if I had to pick one, I'd probably say golden strong ale because it has like the pretty wide like umbrella like specs as far as what it can and can't be.
I feel like it's lighter than that though. Like it's coming off lighter on the flavors versus I feel like the Belgian strongs can be really heavy. And because this just isn't coming off as heavy to me. is
Mhm.
why I'm like,
It's
I could
also
totally see this being a blonde because of that lack of heaviness.
it's also very sweet though.
Yeah.
Like yeah, like it's like a orange. Yeah, like you were saying, like it's very orangey.
Orange cream.
Um,
Yeah.
and like the golden
Go
strongs
ahead.
tend to be on the drier side.
Yep.
The heavier
Yeah.
malty too.
So I would say it's kind of like sweet while it's in the mouth, but I would say it does finish fairly even. Like there's no has like almost no aftertaste,
Yeah.
At least for me.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I feel like sometimes when they're sweet, like I end up thirsty afterwards.
Mhm.
Like ice cream.
Like ice cream. Yeah. You're just
Yeah,
like, oh, I'm
it's
still
creamy.
so thirsty. And it's like I'm going back because I'm digging the carbonation, honestly, the best
Yeah.
on it. But you're right, it is sweeter, but I mean
I think it's because the
can see
malty
why
is so
I
light.
can see why it's a blonde. I think I
Yeah.
gotta give it to them.
Yeah.
It's the lightness on it just doesn't come off as a strong for me. I think those are just end up with so much more of a punch of that yeast flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think somewhere between like an 8 and a 9, maybe 8.5, something
Yeah.
like that.
Um,
What are y'all
my gut
thinking?
was my gut was going with a good strong 8 on it.
Okay.
I like
Probably
how
even go closer to the 9.
yeah,
Sorry,
that's
I
fair.
didn't mean to
No,
interrupt.
you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think because I mean even what you're saying if you're kind of struggling between the style types. I think the 8 hits are strong. It is good. It's a great beer. I don't think it would be for everybody. I think the 10% could wear some people down quick, and because it's so light, for better or worse, it's gonna sneak up on you. Like,
Yeah.
I actually the only thing I would disagree with is I think it would hit a lot of people in the right way because of the carbonation, the effervescence, because it's not too malty, it's
Yeah.
not really hoppy at all. It has a nice
Mhm.
sweet citrusy flavor. And I think that medium to full body or full body to medium keeps you coming back for more. You're like,
Yeah.
what did Wayne say in the
More-
Burns episode? Like it's a moreish, right? Like I
Moreish, yeah.
definitely want more of it.
Yeah.
So I think
Mhm.
it would
I know you guys are lucky you get the full 750 mil. I only get the little 330 mils. I want another one already.
we'll
Oh,
go
I got a
grab
whole
the other
beer-
one and pour
There
it
you
through
I got a
go.
for
whole
you.
fridge full of beer here, so I
I
can
see
pick
that.
something else out.
We'll
Yeah.
survive somehow.
Anyway, we're going by my standards. This is like a super long episode, so
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
we'll
that's
wrap
fine.
it
Feel
up
free to
here. But
Cut it out some too, and we're fine.
stick around because I'm going to do a podcast with Chelsea and Liz. So I'm sure that's linked up here, down there, somewhere. So thanks for doing this show with me, ladies.
you.
And I will see you in just a minute for the podcast. Cheers.
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 Thanks, Chad.
Cheers.
Somebody brewed it. Chad just reviewed it. Thanks for watching Chad's beer review. Trust me, the next episode will be a lot better.